Hello, everybody. It's me again. So I kind of got curious earlier, and I was looking at the bird. Okay, I was outside, and I looked at a bird. And the one thing that really made me wonder is why do birds bob their heads whenever they walk or whenever they eat, for example? And I researched a little bit because this really fascinated me. Why do their heads move erratically, unlike us humans with our heads moving fluidly? And the answer is very, very interesting. So you could imagine a bird, right? Like you can have any bird. Let's say you have a pigeon. A pigeon would be the best example. Okay. So this pigeon, let's say you have a pigeon. Pigeons also bob their head whenever they move and whenever they eat. And a lot of people may realize this, but they haven't really dug deeper than that. Okay, so the reason why these birds, like pigeons, like to bob their head um, frontward and backward is because apparently, okay, but let's go back. Let's take a step back. Okay, there is actually a research in Canada from a university called Queen's University, and what they did was in this research they had pigeon. Okay, this pigeon, they had a pigeon walking in a treadmill. And what this pigeon did, okay, and what they did to this pigeon is they put a plastic box on the pigeon while the pigeon was walking at the treadmill. And when this treadmill changed speeds, okay, when this treadmill matched the speed of which the pigeon was walking in, when the treadmill matched the walking speed of the pigeon, there was something very interesting that happened. Apparently, the pigeon stopped bobbing its head. And why was that? Why was that the pigeon bobbed its head whenever it walked outside, but when it came to the treadmill and it came to a constant speed that matches the walking speed, the natural walking speed of the pigeon, they didn't bob their heads. Okay? And so what the scientists did at Queen's University is they put a blindfold on the pigeon. And the pigeon still didn't bob its head with the treadmill matching its natural walking speed. So what the scientists concluded is that the pigeon didn't actually bob its head due to balancing reasons to balance its body. It actually didn't bob its head to balance its body. And what they concluded was that whenever the pigeons bob their head backward, okay, no, I mean forward, whenever the pigeons bob their head forward, what happened was they stopped for a quick millisecond. Whenever they bob their head frontward, okay, so you could imagine the pigeon right there is bobbing its head. Okay, it's bobbing its head, and when it actually stops midway after they go forward, after their heads go forward, they actually stop midway. And one reason for that is they use that stopping as a way to stabilize the environment in their eyes, because The way the anatomy works for them is that their eyes, the position of their eyes go against their vision. And what I mean by that is they aren't like us humans who don't need, who have innate structures in our eyes that stabilize our environment for us, that stabilize our visuals, our visualization of the environment. As for the birds, they have eyes on the side of their head. So naturally, their vision will be different. And the way that they try to stabilize and visualize the environment is by bobbing their head forward. And they stop during that to try to get a stable image in their eyes because their body is moving faster than their head. So that's what causes the pigeon's vision to blur a little bit. Okay? So they kind of get an image towards that frontward momentum in their head, even though it's merely temporary. That's why they do it constantly in order to get a good idea of what the environment looks like for them. Okay? But to contrast that, there are actually birds just like the ostriches that coincidentally don't bob their heads, just like pigeons. Ostriches, birds like ostriches and owls, don't bob their heads. And that's because their eyes are much more closer in distance. Unlike the pigeons, their eyes are completely on the opposite side of each other, even though they're completely adjacent to each other. That's what makes the difference between their vision. It's like the owls. Okay? So apparently a theory for why pigeons bob their heads, like birds like pigeons bob their heads, and chickens, it's because there is a phenomenon called the parallax. And parallax basically just says that is the apparent shift in the position of an object against a distant background, caused by a change in observer's point of view. Okay? So when pigeons walk, their eyes, or what their vision looks like, is very blurry. So it's kind of like you could imagine, okay? You could imagine yourself looking side to side. You could imagine yourself looking side to side continuously. That could be what pigeons are constantly seeing as they walk. So to fix that, their head bobbing mechanism is what comes up, is what happens in order for them to stabilize their view, even just for a few milliseconds. But I just thought that was very interesting because pigeons and birds like pigeons essentially have a two-dimensional sort of vision of the world. I also wonder how ostriches don't have this head bobbing mechanism. But my theory is It happens because of their just because of the distance of their eyes from each other. That's pretty much it.